and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on our agenda is our weekly commission reports. And Commissioner McDowell, did you have some activities this week?
Pretty slow week. I have my weekly briefing with Dave, and then Friday, I'm going to be meeting with Terry Jeffries, and we're just going to talk about our city and our county and future ideas and projects and kind of ideas that we can hash out. As I always say, we live in a big house. We have to learn to work together. So anyway, we're going to do that on Friday.
Is that complete, your commission?
That's complete.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, tomorrow I will be attending a MACECOM meeting. I'm on the MACECOM board, which is the 911 call center. And in the afternoon, I've been invited to a reception by Lieutenant Governor Brad Owen over at the Capitol. And so I'm looking forward to going over there. Evidently, it's going to be some barbecue or something that's being... You know, food does motivate me on some of these things sometimes. So I'm sure our conversations will be good too. It looks like on Thursday, an EDC board meeting. On Friday, I will be rehearsing for the Forest Festival coronation celebration that's going on at the high school on Saturday night. Forest Festival every year, where they pick the queen and the princesses and whatnot. There's been a tradition going on for, who knows, 30, 40, 50 years. Well, they invite me to come and kind of be the speaker, kind of to moderate the program. And so I've been doing it. This will be my 5th year, I believe. And so I'm rehearsing on Friday. And on Saturday night, if anyone would like to attend, it's at the high school. And I believe it probably starts somewhere around 7 or 7:30. And that would be the Forest Festival coronation event at the high school. That completes our weekly commission reports. Commissioner Moore will not be here tonight. It's just Commissioner McDowell and myself. We have a general public comment. We have 2 of these opportunities in the meeting. This would be the first opportunity. If anyone would like to say something, then this would be one of those opportunities. So do we have somebody signed in?
We do. Marilyn Bogler.
Good evening, Marilyn Bogler, 420 East Poplar. I understand that March is the month you begin working on the budget. I would simply like to ask that you remember the porta potties. Last year, they were kind of orphan children that managed to find funding at the last minute because of public support. It would be awfully nice if they found their own place in the budget, so it wasn't a worry that they would disappear.
Before you leave, could I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, just because I know that your group is going to be on a quarterly report to this commission. Did you know that?
We do regularly, that's part of our charter.
Right, but I wanted to ask something that you would probably be including on that, and that's just kind of the progress on how they're doing. We did have the issue, we moved the one, I believe.
We did.
Did that one, is it in a friendly spot?
Seems to be. It was tipped over one morning, but it was after a very windy night, and Steve said, well, you don't know that somebody pushed it over, it could have blown over. I haven't heard of any further problems. So.
Okay, I just was curious to how that was moving forward as far as how the progress on that.
If you hear of anything, I hope you'll report it back to the committee.
Thank you very much, Marilyn, appreciate it.
Kevin Smeltson.
Kevin.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here tonight mostly to clarify why I've been attending these city commission meetings, and also to clarify what I have not said and what I hope that we will be able to accomplish. So I started coming to these city commission meetings about a month ago because I had organized these community litter cleanups, cleaning up trash, trying to make Charlton just a more beautiful place in general. And then I attended a commission meeting to talk about that, and then afterwards I heard about the fee reduction proposal, which I have an issue with. I do not see that as the right direction for the city. I see it as being running counter to what we are trying to do. And that's something that I think there needs to be a greater conversation about, but that is my agenda, right? It's not anything political, it's not anything personal. And Mr. Mayor, I know I have made some public comments online recently, and along with that, I just want to say, I've never attacked you personally, I've never attacked you politically, I've attacked this one, I wouldn't say attack. I've questioned, I've challenged this one specific policy. And so I hope that we can work together. I love to work together. I see absolutely no benefit in any sort of conflict. So, I would really like that. But on that note, there have been some public comments made by you, Mr. Mayor, that I think do need to be thought about, hopefully by you. In the recent Mason County Journal, not this most recent one, but last week's, there was an article on these fee reductions where you were quoted as saying something along the lines of, people are attacking us because because we're a new administration, it was a new commission, and, so therefore people are going to attack us. And I don't see that as being the case at all. I've heard a lot of people make very valid points about these fee reductions, and I think these people should be listened to. It's a lot of people from the community, a lot of community leaders, and I think these people are worth being listened to, and some people may have been more personal. There not be any defensiveness, and just there be an understanding that people just like you really care about this community. Other people in the community care about the city, care about the community, and have different ideas for how we can make this city a greater place. And so I hope that there will be a willingness to really listen to this. I will come back in the future because I have more to say about the fee reduction plan, which for me does not have so much to do with the fee reduction, so much as the reason behind needing to have these fee reductions. That's it, I'll wrap up, but.
Thank you, Kevin, for your comments, and I'll talk to you for just a minute here. Kevin and I did have a conversation before meeting, I believe it was last week, and we said some things to one another, and then we kind of said Kevin said something, and just a miscommunication. My heart and your heart is that the city grows, the city is prosperous, and that we have a clean, wonderful city. I've always considered you my friend, and anything that you say or whatever, I'm not, and if I say that, well, maybe I think some people do naturally kind of want to come against a new administration maybe and stop a new plan or something. I think not you, but some people could do that, and that's all I was saying. I said that I thought some people might do that, and I don't think there's anything wrong in acknowledging that. So, but as far as you're concerned, I've been from behind you from the beginning, which is everything I've said publicly is in support of what you're doing. You'll never find a city where everyone agrees. And this is a position that a situation we are trying to do. But as far as you and me, I have no problem with calling you my friend, okay? All right. Thank you very much. Anyone else?
We have Cheryl Williams.
Good evening, Commissioners McDowell and Cons. I'm here tonight on behalf of AARP's Tax Aid. I'd like to enter the record so people will know if they read online that we do taxes for low-income taxpayers and people that are afraid to do their taxes or don't do them. We are at the library, the Shelton Library, every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's just a walk-in. And then we're at the Senior Center, the Shelton Senior Center, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Wednesday. That is by appointment only. You have to call and make an appointment. And we are also at the Belfair Library on Tuesday afternoons from 1 to 4. So, happy tax season.
All right.
Is that AARP, did you say?
This is through AARP, yeah.
Okay.
So but it's not limited to AARP members. It's open to everybody that has. Obviously we can't do like Schedule C's or depreciation or Schedule D's, but we'll do basic returns.
Thank you very much for your comments. Anybody else?
Randy Lewis. Randy, you wanted to save yours until
Can I defer mine till the second?
Yep.
the second
Yeah.
comment
No
period.
problem. Anyone else?
No one.
Okay. So next on the agenda is our consent agenda. And so do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move, we have to read it first.
We can't approve it until it's read.
What? You know, after 4.5 years, you'd think I'd get that one right, you know. Okay, let's do this. Could we please, are we ready for a reading of the consent agenda?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Could we please have a reading of the consent agenda?
Consent agenda, vouchers numbered 11071 through 11162 in the amount of $832,798.66. Transfer and banking fees in the amount of $45,863.96. Handwritten warrant numbered 11068 in the amount of $473.50 to Department of Revenue. Handwritten warrant numbered 11069 in the amount of $41,926.80 to Department of Revenue. Handwritten warrant numbered 11070 in the amount of $10,528.88 to KeyBank. Handwritten warrant numbered 11042 in the amount of $24,903.90 to the Department of Revenue. Handwritten warrant numbered 11043 in the amount of $104.76 to the Department of Revenue. Commission meeting minutes from study session of February 22nd, 2016. Ordinance number 1883-0316, second reading. An ordinance of the City of Shelton, Washington, amending ordinance number 1300 of the Shelton Municipal Code, creating the Shelton Arts Commission, defining the duties and functions of the commission, establishing the method of appointment of members to the commission, and providing for operating procedures.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as read.
Okay, and I second that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda passes. Okay, there is no old business tonight and no news business tonight, but we do have an opportunity to hear an administration report presented to us by a sit-in for Mike Michaels, and that is our Public Works Director, Greg Clark.
Good evening, Mayor. Commissioner. The annual report on traffic impact fees is before you. I handed it out here before the meeting started, and I'll go through that with you now. Annually, we update this particular document to keep it current, and so our city engineer, Mike Michael, prepared this. Unfortunately, he got some metal shavings in his eye and had to go to the doctor, and so he isn't exactly...
Not my favorite subject.
No.
Wow.
So he's home. But the report basically is on our traffic impact fees. This last year, in 2015, we had only one single residential permit that required collection of the traffic impact fees, and those were collected at the amount of $3,217. And the total fund at this point in time has $159,974.98. And there were some changes to some of the regulations in the RCWs and that this year. And as we worked through the updating of the document, we looked at the relevance of some of the projects that were listed, and there were 4 projects on the list since 2008 that were a function of the amount of development that we would anticipate, and those have now been removed because we don't feel they're timely for the duration of time that this is going to carry out to, and these projects as listed under attachment A continue out through I believe it's a 10-year period. And so the amount of money collected in 15 will be added to that total, and the amount of monies that were reduced because we pulled 4 projects off of here was reduced right around $9,053,500. So that reduced the volume or the total contained in the attachment by about 30.8%. And like I say, these were updated along with the construction cost index was used, and the increase in costs were applied to this list. The increase in cost was right around 2.4%. as defined by the October timing of that. And so the impact fees that would have been right around $3,700 as the fee, have been adjusted now down because of the removal of the 4 projects to $2,605.65 is now the standard current adjusted charge. So that's what has been applied. The attachments in the list the projects that any of these projects are eligible for the transportation impact fee funds. And of course, we would be applying at some point in the future, hopefully, for some grant funding on these. And the impact fees could be used either directly or as match money for grant projects out there. And then the new CHIRP generation Schedule B, Attachment B, is attached to the report. And this is what is used when a developer comes in and wants to build within the city. These would be the trip generation rates that would be used and the fees associated based on this new trip generated amount of $2,600 and $5.65. So with that, I'll answer any questions I can, and that's the end of my report.
And we're getting this here tonight exactly just to inform us about the fact that you took some projects off, that not to look towards that money. I mean, is that...
Exactly. The timing on this, we usually do around the 6-year program time frame. However, due to the developmental fee discussion, we thought it was timely to do this now with the spirit of reducing costs for those wanting to build within the city. So if you were going to build within the city and you were building a development that was included in the attachment B, then you would have a traffic impact fee that you would have to pay. And by updating the list, removing those projects that are not growth related that we felt at this time needed to be on the list, it does reduce the amount of impact fee that would be paid by anybody making application for a permit. So,
Okay. Thank you very much. Did you have any questions for Mr. Greg Clark? I guess there's a letter that wants to be read into the record there.
Yes, Commissioner Moore would like me to read into the record her final comments regarding development fee reductions. And so I will start her comments. The reductions unfairly benefit a select few at the expense of other current taxpaying citizens and property owners in Shelton. Money from our general fund should go toward efforts that benefit our entire community in a tangible way and a way the community supports. Throughout this discussion, the fee reductions have been pushed ahead in spite of the many citizens who have spoken against them. There have been many questions and requests for more information that has not been addressed. The request from a major builder to not reduce the transportation impact fee has been ignored. General facilities charge reductions for utility connections should not be extended to the county. That is not an incentive for growth in our city, and the utility rates we will collect will not be a fair equivalent. We should encourage growth and new building within our city limits only, and avoid using our citizens' tax dollars to subsidize building that cannot contribute to our city's tax base. Economic recovery has finally begun in our community. We have had several commercial permit applications already this year, with more expected in the near future. The number of permit applications in 2016 is far greater than previous years, and we are still in the slow building season. The assertion that growth will remain stagnant without these subsidies is a fallacy. The 5 residential building applications that may come in if we reduce rates may have come in anyway. If the proposed investors have been encouraged to wait, it isn't an accurate gauge of success. The loss of general facilities charges, the reduction of transportation impact fees, and the removal of frontage requirements are a return to the days that poor decisions and failure to plan for the future caused the need for large loans to pay for mandated improvements to our utilities. The subsidy of development impacts will negatively affect grant opportunities. There is an expectation from granting agencies that we will maximize the opportunities to help ourselves before being given funds for projects we are responsible for. I am excited about growth and celebrate all the new projects we are looking forward to. I hope many of our citizens will use this one-year window to take advantage of lower fees to make home or commercial improvements. I believe that any charges above the amount needed to mitigate impacts need to be reduced. I believe some incentives will keep the momentum going for greater investment in our community. I would support a well-thought-out targeted plan. The lack of focus and the lack of willingness to collaborate on a more creative, equitable, less extreme plan are very disturbing, and I once again affirm my vote of opposition.
All right. Do we have comments, more comments about this specific issue? Because, would you like to come and speak?
Sure.
And just, has he signed in? Show me
Yes,
his
he did.
yes. And just state your name for the record.
Randy Lewis. This has been recorded, right?
Yeah.
I would hate to have my comments, misquoted. I can't answer on Facebook.
Nope, they're
Okay, good.
recorded.
I also wanted to say, as far as I can tell, there's no evidence that, for example, those that would agree with the letter, there's no evidence that I can see that opinion has been stifled in any way. I mean, any opinion, anyone coming here wanting to say anything has been able to say it. You haven't said, be quiet, anything like that, right? I disagree with the notion, okay, the other comment is, Commissioner Moore mentioned a couple meetings ago that there were like 55 permit applications. As far as you know, how many of those were for new construction, like we've been talking about?
I don't think any of them.
I think one for the
Yeah.
new gas station.
My understanding, one,
Well, two, maybe the welding at Olympic College.
yeah,
Yeah.
but one or two. And that was, and the one I was aware of was for a national chain that wanted to put a gas station next to an existing store. So the rest are like, fixing a roof or something. So, and we heard that the new these studies are saying that there's no evidence that lower fees will bring in new business. First of all, I disagree with that. Second of all, suppose that is true. Well, then no difference. No harm, no foul. If you're getting no money under the higher fees and no money under the new fees, doesn't matter. There's no downside, only potential upside. I've seen some comments on, okay, let's measure the success of the new lower fees. Okay, fine, but how the old higher fees in the last 10 years, how's that worked out? Those have been a miserable failure. And the concept of equitable, you have new people in town, new houses, more revenue. That helps everybody. It's called economies of scale. That helps ease the burden on, for example, the sewer rates that are exponentially scheduled to increase. That helps take the burden off of them. And the notion that, these people people built a house, paid the higher fees, and now the poor people that are paying these off in a mortgage have to pay for that in the mortgage payments. That can't be true. Someone buying a house, they negotiate a price. They could care less what permit fees the builder had to pay. They negotiate a price. Either they want to pay it or they don't. It's whatever the market value is. I guess I'm done.
I think we got your idea on it, yeah.
I did prepare some numbers, the benefit for a new house, the economic benefit, using city numbers. The immediate benefit in the year that it's built is $8,500, and that's net of any incremental expense the city bears. Now, going forward, the city, this is for the so-called average house.
I think I have to cut you off. Thank you,
Yeah.
I appreciate, yeah. Well, is there anybody else who wants to talk about this more? I got lasagna waiting for my microwave, so, Kevin, you want to speak again? Okay, Kevin, come up. This is an issue that you're concerned about, and we've given everybody opportunity to say for 2.5 months exactly what they want to talk about, so.
Thank you. And I've never claimed that you were stifling opinion.
Yeah, we
Just
don't.
for the record, thank you.
Okay.
It's more a matter of listening and using that opinion. That is my concern. But So there's the short-term economic benefit of building a house, right? I think that's fair enough. They're, $8,500, sure, we'll believe it. But there's also the long-term impact. If you look at the best case scenario, I'm not really sure what would be the best case scenario. We can build a bunch of houses, for example, and either they're going to get occupied or they're not going to get occupied. Or they might get occupied and then people move out because we still have so many issues that we still have to deal with. If there's a reason why at our current fee rate, people are not moving here. There's a reason why we're having to reduce these fees that people move. So if we build these houses and they do become occupied, so we're going to have more people in our city. Where are the resources going to come from in the short term? Are we going to have more cops in the next year? Are we going to have more firefighters in the next year? Are we going to have more resources in general over the next year? Because I have not heard anything to make me believe that that will be the case, be able to handle this new growth, if it does happen. On the other hand, if we build these and people do not come, we're going to have more empty houses, houses for sale, more storefronts, potentially, that are vacant, making our city look bad. Currently, our downtown is filled with empty storefronts. Our city is filled with empty houses that should become occupied. And as long as we have this focus on building, what is the incentive for people to come in and move into these houses that already exist? That is my major issue with this fee reduction proposal. The fact that we're not looking at the actual issue that's causing people to not move here. I don't think it's about fees. People wouldn't move to Seattle if it was about cost. People wouldn't move to Olympia if it was about cost. Historically, I believe Shelton we've gone with the budget model. We're the cheap alternative. And I think a lot of people here would hopefully agree with that. That's kind of how Shelton has got people to come here. That's why I moved here. That's why a lot of people moved here. And that's brought people here. But it's also part of the reason why I believe there's a very real decline of our downtown and a perceived decline of our city in general. And I'm not blaming anybody on the commission. It's a community. There's all sorts of reasons for this. But I don't believe that this proposal is going to fix that. I believe it could make it worse.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
Do I get to rebut?
Well, because Kevin spoke for 6 minutes, I think that you have an opportunity for another 3 minutes if you want to.
Thank you.
Seeing as how we want to treat everybody the same. Okay. State your name for the record.
Randy
Okay.
Lewis.
All right.
Someone called me Donut Dumpster, but never mind. First of all, who says that the new houses have to be cheap? If you're going to build an expensive house in Shelton with the current higher fees, that's a major capital outlay in dollars. So I'm not convinced that the new house will be cheap, whatever that means. The other thing is, a new house is a new house. I'm presuming it'll be built under Shelton code, so it'll be a new house. The guy that doesn't build a house because the fees are too high, who would otherwise build a house if the fees are low, if the fees stay the way they are, and he decides not to build a house because the fees are high, he's not going to then say, oh, you know what, I can't do that. I'm going to refurbish an existing house. That's not going to happen. I don't think they're connected. As far as the numbers go, the Commissioner did mention numbers. We have done some analysis. I offered at the last meeting to talk to her and explain our numbers to her. She declined. Speaking of long-term benefit, I just mentioned $8,500 benefit in the short term, now incremental cost. The long-term benefit, the so-called present value of time zero, from revenue coming in from sewer rates, whatever, that the house income will accrue, $39,000. And that's using the city numbers. And I used a generous discount rate of 5%. It's probably actually higher than that. So the question is, the house stays there long term, how much incremental usage is the city of Shelton going to have to incur because that house now is there where it wasn't before? Well, I was told, for example, with the sewer's way under capacity, 43% or something. You guys can give me a better number. And And I was told by a city manager, the Shelton sewer was designed for growth. So let's growth. And for those who say, let's focus on other things that make Shelton great. For example, cleanup is amazing, it's cool. Doing all these other things make Shelton better, that's very good. But the city itself is going to have a hard time contributing their effort to that if it goes bankrupt. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anybody else want to jump in this one again? We have offered tons of opportunity for people to speak on this, myself included. I'm going to make another statement. We heard Tracy Moore's statement. Let me repeat what I've said. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching $60 million in debt. We just borrowed $300,000 to keep the city floating. We have been doing the same thing for 10 years. And unfortunately, because of many factors that none of us had anything to do with it, it's not working. We're averaging 2 homes a year. The city of Othello builds 50 to 70 houses a year, and that's just some little town over in eastern Washington, okay? We're way, way, way under building some houses. And what happens is, we have a choice to just hang in here and do what we've been doing, and maybe next year we can borrow another $300,000, that'll be $600,000 to keep the city. I don't like to have a city just doing things to keep it floating. A city that doesn't grow dies. And we've all heard the term ghost towns, okay? None of us want to see Shelton become a ghost town. If somebody was to come and get a permit and build a home in Shelton, I can guarantee you that new home will not sit vacant. I have rentals, I know rentals. The rental vacancy market is greatly hurting and needing affordable 1 and 2 and 3 bedroom homes. Where are you going to get them? You're going to get them from a builder. What we've been doing has attracted 2 homes a year. My whole offer to do is to try and change the equation a little bit. Not a big deal. It's just a 1 year to give some tax incentive, some incentive for someone to come and jumpstart this economy and continue to work. Not as the savior of the city. It's not the only thing we're doing. I am all for many, many things working together to try and help the city. And number one motive, I can guarantee you 100%, my personal motive in trying to cut these fees was not to benefit some rich builder or realtor. My motive was to help the city survive and pay its bills. And I believe this is a sound way to do it. And you're never going to get everybody together on this, folks. It just will not happen. I've made the step to move this forward. We are going to move it forward. Time will tell how successful it is or not. But I do know that I can name top leaders in the state government. I can name bank presidents. I can name Habitat for Humanity. I can go to realtors, builders. I can go to the business community, and over 51%, hopefully more than that, of the people in this community that want to clean up the city and have some activity. So this is a decision that I made, and I'm just telling you, we're moving forward on it. And we have taken 2.5 months to hear any and all comments against it. But it is a new plan. Obviously, when something new happens, people kind of, oh, gee, well, since we've kind of enacted it, I really haven't seen the major rush. So maybe it won't work as well as I hope it will work, but I will do whatever I can do to keep this city from going bankrupt or trying to find another $300,000 next year to keep us floating. So that's basically why we're doing it, where my motive is, and what I think about it. So seeing as how we have this opportunity, did you have anything else to add?
Well, the long-term benefit of this, I'll be the first one to say, pie in my face if it doesn't work. But the long-term benefit is down the road with new homes, new businesses, new building, is the paying for the sewer and water rates and property taxes, and I could make a long list of things that would benefit by bringing new building into this town. Sure, we want our storefronts filled. That's great. That's ideal. Hopefully, someone will say, I would like to open a store in Shelton, and there's a great little place downtown. And in the meantime, I would like a new house built, so I'm going to have a new house built in Shelton. That's what we're hoping. And kudos to you, Kevin, for spearheading this cleanup. But that isn't that's just one piece of the puzzle to get this city going, is getting our city cleaned up. So Fine.
Okay. On a slightly different note, and I don't know exactly where this fits into under the agenda, seeing as how my lasagna is waiting to go back into the microwave, but I will tell you good news. Coda is, the old Olson Furniture Store, has got a new furniture business that's going to be going into that store. The Baptist Church across the street is putting $200,000 brand-new siding, the entire white church. Okay. Right down here, the bakery that closed last year, is a new bakery is going in, right over on Railroad Avenue. New bakery, getting ready to open. Right across the street, I believe the old funeral home, I believe has somebody that's bought it, and they want to do something there. Okay, we're moving forward. Hopefully, we got a couple of marijuana grow operations coming in down there in the industrial zone. And my mother would turn in her grave if she saw me smiling and saying that statement. But by golly, I'm trying to save the city. I don't care if the money's legal. I want legal money to come and help this city. Hopefully, Sahara Pacific will keep bumping along and we'll get that mill open. Hopefully, the downtown visualization and everything that I have personally contributed time and money into, we'll get something going on that very soon. And hopefully, Shelton Hills will start digging holes up on that ground any day. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I want to do. Everything I can do that will help in moving those things forward. And we can do it, again, kind of working together. But you're unfortunately not going to get everybody to agree on how this thing kind of works. But we all want success, and that's where I am on that issue. And so let me look back at my notes and see. That must have gone under basically general public comments. Okay. Is there any other general public comments about anything else that would want to help the city and create? Oh.
No, I'm not.
Oh, a public comment. Okay, we do have a administration final touches. I believe I'm close to that item. Okay.
Touches.
Anybody? Okay, now we have an announcement. Our next meeting will be on Monday, March 14th at 2 p.m. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.